Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday once again, and welcome here for another exciting but yet exclusive episode here on Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is episode 487. I'm your host here, Sean A. White, founder and creator of a brand called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And with that, we have someone by popular demand has decided to come back and grace us as far as with her brilliance. If you haven't seen the first one, I highly encourage you to do so. She had dropped a lot of great information. Someone she that I truly admire and respect, and also too it's always great to speak with another fellow colleague as far as in this industry and profession. She is someone, as you see here, with her title is the master of habit change. She is part of the stand up and stand out Facebook community, and she is, in my opinion, one of one. There is no one like her, and that's just my personal opinion. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, hailing all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, is the one, the only Miss Vickie Poole. Welcome her to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, Miss Poole.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here again.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, ladies and gents, if you can do us a favor, if you're catching us on the live, please go ahead and put in hashtag live. Let us all know exactly where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you happen to catch this on a replay, we get it, but put in hashtag replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But more importantly, let us know what you have gotten out of this segment. So, with that being said, I know you're a very busy woman, so let's go ahead and begin here. Any new updates from the last time in which that we spoke, ma'am? Because you've been doing a lot recently.
I have. More than I can even remember to talk about in the moment, I will say. But on the top of the mind is my book, The Light Beyond the Map. And I'm super proud of it. It's a manifestation fable. So it is kind of based on the hero's journey. And it's all entrepreneurs, we go through this journey, and there's the journey of, something about life's not setting with me. I need to do something else. Am I dreaming of? And then there's this journey that goes on after that. And it's true in everybody's life. It's just at different levels. And so I wrote that book about this journey. And it's a fable because it's a story of one person and her meeting her Yoda, so to speak. She meets Sela, a lady by the fire, and gets all this beautiful confidence and assuredness that she's in the right place. And, we all need that, right?
Correct.
So it's all about her journey and how she comes to realizing her dreams. So I've worked diligently to get it ready. And then I've had, like I shared with you earlier, I had some snafus that we as entrepreneurs keep running into, right? But I always feel like anything that comes up that's not going the way that I wanted to, it's because I need to pivot. I need to change something. And so I shared with you that I got it. The book is actually on Amazon Kindle. That's where I put it first. So it's a digital there. And then I thought, well, I really want to have a physical copy because I want one. And then some of my friends were saying, well, I'd really love to have the hardback of this. So I tried to do that with Amazon, and I didn't have enough pages for Amazon to do that. So I went and searched for a place to have the book done in a hardback. And so I went with Book Patch. I got it. Somebody bought it, and when all is said and done, I had 51 cents royalty. So it was like, okay, maybe this means that right now hardback's not where I need to be. Let's just go ahead and see what I can do to get it in the paperback. And what that really did for me was I ended up, because one of the things that Alara does is she creates a little map of what she wants in her world.
Mhm.
And so that's why it's called the light beyond the map. And so since it wouldn't work with what I had, I decided, well, why don't I create something? So now there's a map in there that you can fill in. There's journal pages and questions that help you figure out, what your journey is. So I figure the fact that it didn't work on the other one was just so that I would add this stuff to it. So that will be out relatively soon, but for right now, it's the paper, it's the digital copy, Kindle, and the actual hardback.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just very curious here. What initially gave you like the inspiration to go ahead and do so? Because I know as far as we're entrepreneurs, we love to get our inspiration from many different sources, either from television or maybe a story that we found to be very inspirational. That's why I love to get a lot of my content. I love to hear basically like the underdog, right? Those that
Mm-hmm.
were considered like down and out and they just came back. I love to hear stories on being resilient, right? And just not giving up, just being stubborn in that regard. And I love to find different ways of gaining that inspiration to create content. So for you, because we're very similar in terms of our way of thinking, what was it for you that made you say, "Ooh, you know what? I love that title. Yeah, I can do something with this."
Well, what happened was, just like you, I'm a constant learner, and some of the things that I've learned just in the past, I guess, 6 months, year, is about how books are written, because I'm actually writing an apocalyptic novel now, so I'm having to, really look at things differently. But every story, every movie, every book, anything is all on this hero's journey. And once you learn the hero's journey, you see it in each one of them, right?
Correct, correct.
And so I was thinking about the hero's journey, and I thought, maybe it's time for me just to kind of play with this a little bit and just write my own hero's journey.
Can I ask you a question real quick, and
Hmm.
I didn't mean to cut you off? For
No
those that
worries.
may be in the audience, that may be watching this live or in person, that may not be familiar as far as with the hero's journey, can you just explain to the audience on what exactly you mean by that?
Okay. Well, the hero's journey, and if you watch any movie, you'll see it, because there is this person that is dissatisfied with life, or feels like things are too humdrum, and they don't know what they want. And then they're okay with that for a while, and then something happens that makes them see that they need to make a move.
Right,
Whether it's a tragedy that happens or they meet somebody, but they need to make a move.
correct.
And then they start doing it, but they're really not sure how to go about it. And then that's when they meet their mentor. And that mentor kind of gets them on the straight and narrow and says, hey, you can do this. You're on the right path, and let me help you here. And so kind of think of I like to think of Star Wars and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda.
Mhm.
They're the ones that help Luke Skywalker move past this thing. But
Absolutely.
then part of the hero's journey is, once you get all this amazingness going, then some kind of something will show up that's an obstacle. And it's a test to see if you'll stop. And
Correct.
sometimes that obstacle is an opportunity. Like in the book, she's wanting to be this entrepreneur. She's wanting to do these different things. And then suddenly somebody makes her this amazing offer where she has a steady salary, she has benefits, she has all these things. And she has to make a decision. Does she want to stay on the path that she was on of this
Mhm.
living her dream, or does she want to take the easy way? And
Right.
so you get that, right? And
Mhm.
then the person makes a decision whichever way they go. And usually they go to the dream, because that's part of the
Mhm.
hero's journey. And then
Mhm.
the dream comes to fruition. So, and when you look at the map of the hero's journey, because every story has it, some of them are lengthier. There's more things that
Correct.
happen in there, but that's the gist of it. And
Correct.
so if we look at our own lives, we see the same thing, because I became a coach because of this. And then I got really stuck because things weren't working, and I almost gave up. So everybody has that journey.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for explaining that as well, Vicky. I definitely appreciate that. Before we go ahead and continue, for all those that's tuning in once again, welcome to another episode here of Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. We're at episode number 487 with the master of habit change herself, Miss Vickie Poole. You know what, Vickie? I've been following you for quite some time, and I'm definitely a fan of your work. You're always, always giving out extreme great knowledge through the affirmations, to the teaching, sound principles, and it's just absolutely amazing. And what I love too is the consistency, because I know it'd be times in which you may have like, man, you know what, I really don't feel like doing this. I'm not feeling good. I got a lot going on, but yet I made a commitment and I said to myself that I'm going to show up. Because that you're a fan and that you're also a teacher of the subconscious mind, I would like for you to speak to the audience, because you will have individuals that may say like, okay, yeah, that's great, right? The hero's journey, I'm loving the book, or the book that you have. And in some ways I can kind of see myself, but a lot of times I really can't. Where do you think that stems from in terms of the subconscious mind? Maybe you could explain to individuals how powerful the subconscious mind is, because I think that a lot of people truly don't understand the subconscious mind, and truly how the way it works and how the way it ultimately, it dictates our lives on a day in and day out basis, whether we realize it or not. Would you like to, touch bases on that?
Yeah, sure. Great question. Well, the thing is about our subconscious mind, it's running the show 90% of the time, 98% of the time. No, 90, whatever. It's 90 something percent of the time.
Something
Okay.
like that, yeah. It's debatable. It is hot. It's definitely hot.
It's hot. And the thing that our subconscious mind is doing all the time is it's trying to keep us safe.
Correct.
So it wants to make sure that we're not doing anything that's going to cause death. Yes, and so the only things that it thinks are safe are the things that we have experienced already and we've survived. Correct? So if we get this idea of something that we want to do, and we can do it for a certain amount of time, whether that's losing weight, starting your business, going live, whatever it is, you can push through and get that conscious mind to help you and do the willpower thing, to do the thing for a certain amount of time. And then your subconscious mind's going to say, okay, you can stop now because this doesn't feel safe. And it will start sabotaging you. So a lot of times people, when they think they're doing self-sabotage and everything, it's your subconscious mind stepping in to say, you might have been miserable as hell, but we know you can survive that. So it will do things to put you back on the same path. And that's why I always like to mention the people that win the lottery. And they've probably, the only people that continue to have money afterwards is the people that had money to start with.
That's
because
correct.
They already had this financial mindset that meant that money was safety.
Absolutely.
But people that have never had money, they have all these limiting beliefs that make it feel like money is unsafe.
Correct.
And so their subconscious mind will pop in and do a plethora of things to take that money away, from
Absolutely.
losing it, having it stolen, misinvesting, I can't even name the things that will show up, right? And so when you have this dream of something you want to do, just by knowing that and knowing the hero's journey, and you can start seeing your path, and you can start seeing the things that are coming up, and you recognize them as, oh, this is just my subconscious mind trying to take me back to where I was, and I'm not going to have it. That's one of the things that I help people with, because it is a habit that we have in our life, in our world, a thermostat that, so to speak, that we have of who we think we are. What is that saying? You can never outperform your vision of who you think you are.
That is correct.
And that may not be the exact quote, but it's the gist of it. And so the only way you can keep growing in that hero's journey and moving forward is by recognizing it and changing those patterns.
Yes, ma'am. 1,000%. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, once again, thank you so much for joining Transformation Greatness along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. We have here my very good friend and buddy, the master of habit change, the one and only Miss Vickie Poole. I want to ask you this. If people were to come to your page or decide to want to work with you, what can they expect working with the master of habit change?
Well, it is one of the things that most people, well, I can't say most people, a lot of people aren't aware of is the thing that you come to someone to get fixed, so to speak, is
Mhm.
usually not what needs to be fixed. Not that you do need to be fixed,
Right, right,
but it's like we're onions, and so you peel this layer off. You say, like, for instance, someone who wants to lose weight, because I have people that want to lose weight that pop up a lot.
right, correct.
You start peeling things off about losing weight, and you understand that what it is they're not wanting to lose weight so much as they just want to start liking their friggin' lives. They want
Correct.
to fall in love with who they are,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they think that the weight coming off is what's going to create that. So,
Yes,
and that's not everybody, but majority of the people, that's what it is. So we start going and diving deep into figuring out what it is that you really want underneath the thing you said you wanted, and then we start working on from there.
absolutely, absolutely. And
Did
I
I
just want
answer
to,
your question?
oh, oh, I mean, 1,000%, 1,000%.
Okay.
I want to acknowledge, just as far as, those that's in the audience or that have actually placed comments. So we have here, Javon Watson. He said, "Lover brother, this is what we need." Absolutely, my friend. We'll be touching bases soon. He will also be a future guest as far as on this podcast. We have here the one and only Pastor P. Ramey in the house. Blessings. Hello, hello, hello. We have here a partner here, Latanya Davis. She says, "Hello, everyone, live from East Orange, New Jersey in the house." And she said, "Great evening." I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely love as far as on what you said, especially with the peeling the onion aspect, because I have dealt with clients as well, especially in the past, in which they would come for one thing, but I'm sorry, before everything is said and done, they realize, okay, they came for this one thing, but then it opens up other layers. And
Mm-hmm.
I love at that point to give them the option for us to continue to work, or you can go ahead and abort that. The interesting thing is that in terms of personal development, in terms of doing anything, and that's the reason why I realize this, especially during this journey, you have a lot of people who say the buzzword, they want to be a millionaire, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
cute, it's trendy, it's exciting. We're in the digital age, you know, everything you can think of is in there, right? It will be totally justified. But what happens is that you want to be a millionaire, but yet what are you willing to do to transform your mindset? What are some of the habits that you need to change? And that's where I realize for most, they put a freeze on that because subconsciously, when it rubber meets the road, when you're really peeling the onion, you find out that self-esteem, confidence, trauma, self-limited beliefs, fill in the blanks. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why the type of work that me and you do is so excellent. And I just applaud you because, I
Thank
mean,
you.
the stuff that you offer is just like, I mean, I'm in the same space as you, but I'm like, man, that is very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. So I want you to talk about as far as, I don't want to say a promo. Well, I guess it is a promo. You have something special that you're doing for everyone, and it's at a pretty good price point, if you will. Would you like to touch bases on that?
Sure. Thank you for asking.
Of
Yes,
course.
I'm doing if this is new. I've never done this before, so I am doing a special where I do DM coaching, which means we can do it on Facebook Messenger or we can do it in email, whatever. But you pick one thing that you want to work on. So you have to be lasered in on the one thing that you want because we're not going to work on 10 things at once. We're going to work at one at a time.
That's right.
And then we have anywhere from 5 to 10 DMs to get to the heart of the matter and get some change. And the thing that is really cool is that 50% of everything that I bring in with this is going to be donated to a charity to help foster parents, foster children. So it's just the people in the foster system completely. And I won't go into it, but I have a special place in my heart for foster families and foster children. And I have a big place that I've had to deal with that in my life. And so it means a lot to me. And so that's what I chose to do. So it's a pay what you want with a minimum of $20. And, you know, some people have come in at the $20 level and some have come in at $100 level. And who knows, you know, because it's going right now until August 3rd at midnight Eastern time. And because I had to put a cap on it because I do have to deliver on these, and it's going to, even though it's not in person and it's on the DMs, it still takes some time, but it's a great cause and it helps someone that maybe is not feeling the I want to get on a Zoom and pour my heart out thing, you know, but they still want to get movement on something. And
Absolutely.
so that way they can help themselves and then help some children in need.
Absolutely. And how can others get a hold of you? Do you have like a website?
I haven't got this on my link tree yet, but I do have a link tree, so you can get like some actual hypnosis recordings on there for free. And I haven't put this on there because it's not going to be going on for very long. Okay. So you can DM me on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I'm Vickie Poole on Facebook. And then you can go to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/Vickie Poole. And so you can reach me those places.
Fantastic. And I'm taking a look here and seeing if anybody has any comments. Latanya Davis said, love it. So she may be reaching out to you. I'm not 100% too certain, but that's pretty cool.
And if any of these people know you, Sean, you can get in touch with me.
Oh, I sure will. Yeah. I sure will. Definitely. Yeah. I'm just thinking here, Vickie, because I know that we have about 7 minutes left, or a little under 7 minutes. I'm just curious because you're doing so much right now. And, you know, I don't want to put your whole business out there, but I believe as far as that you still have your 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm thinking is this. There's many individuals that are working and have a 9-to-5 job. And they may be looking at this and maybe saying like, man, you know what? I'm a heart-centered kind of person, right? I would love to be a coach or a therapist or something like that of the sort, but I don't have a clue on where to start. I always try to start, but then something would come about, or somebody would tell me, you know, something negative, and then my whole entire heart get crushed and everything else. And, you know, it's like every time I try to start, I stop for some reason. Stop, then start. Stop, then start. I want you to speak to that audience member. First of all, what would be your best suggestion you would have for that individual, either a man or woman, that is really looking to get in this space, but for whatever reason, they feel like they have like a lot of self-limiting beliefs on why they're not doing the same things that me and you are doing currently?
My first thing would be to maybe take some time to just sit and think, why is it that you're really wanting to do it? What's the underlying factor? Because, you know, some people, and not to say this is anybody that's watching and listening, because I know your audience and it's probably not them, but just in case somebody else sees it. But, you know, some people, they think that doing that is going to give them accolades or it's going to make them a lot of money. And so when you're looking at that, you know, anything will do that. But when you're thinking about coaching, it's got to come from this place in your heart, a service. And because you are in service to people, whether you understand that or not.
Right.
And the better you can serve and help somebody with their pain point, the better off they are and you are. And so my first thing would be really tap into why you want to do it. And what does it feel like when you think about it? And what do you aspire to be? And then when you figure that out, then you start, I would say, look and see what kind of coach you want to be. Are you wanting to coach on money? Are you wanting to coach
Right.
on weight or life? And then just kind of look and see who is doing that in a way that feels congruent to who you are, and start watching them and emulate them a little bit. I started my journey at the Health Coach Institute. And so that's a really good place to start. But there are others. And so I really can't speak to any of the others because I haven't done those, but I know
Right.
there are. But I think if you can find someone who, when you hear them talk about it and you think, oh, that's how I feel too, then start watching and learning from them, even if it's from a distance. Maybe hire a coach and get a little touch with it on a different level, because it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. But it's not the easiest journey in the world, because it can be a lot, but it's definitely, definitely worth it.
I can definitely tell you because I started as far as with my journey, like really, man. So from being a part of with Emily Carrera, and she's going on to do bigger and greater things in her respective industry. But starting as far as with being in her space and earned a certificate of being a mindset coach, and then with a good friend of mine, brother Steve Krivder, which that's my guy right there, and being a part of Eagles Impact Coaching, in which I still follow him to this day. Great, great guy, super authentic guy. And then from continuing that to HMI Institute, which I learned about
I
hypnotherapy,
went there too.
NLP, NLP, and look, flat out, I'm biased in saying this. That's probably the best training ever. But again, I'm biased, right?
Mhm.
But the point is this. The point is this, ladies and gentlemen, is that exactly what Vickie stated is 1,000% correct. You want to be able to find someone that you admire and that you respect, right? Someone that's truly doing the work and learn from them, even from a distance or hire them, but really get into that space and ask yourself the question, why do you want to be a coach? Why is it very important? Because when you start getting in this space and the more that you grow and yes, yes, and once you start to get clients, it is work. Trust me when I tell you, it is work and it can be emotionally draining. But to me, it's just all about service, as Pastor P said. It's really all about service by the end of the day, really providing that safe space. And more importantly, just seeing the transformation and the progression of people and just knowing that, guess what? You are the one out of everyone else that's in the space, but you were really able to create that impact and just be a difference maker in a person's life. And that's what it's really all about in entrepreneurship, right? The
Mhm.
money is great, accolades is great, the material things is great, right? All that's great. But when you're able to create impact in at least one person's life, man, then you know what? It's really all worth it. It's worth getting up in the morning on 4 hours of sleep. It's worth, doing your 9 to 5 grind and then coming home and then transitioning and doing it all over again. It's worth it. It is truly,
Yeah.
truly worth
Yeah.
it. Truly, truly worth it. So
Yeah.
great, great points.
One of my most, it's not the most, but I had one client that I had as a hypnosis client, and she bought, I think, I can't remember, she bought two packages from me, or I think it was two packages.
Okay.
And then after that, she decided that she got so much shift in her life and so many changes that she wasn't even expecting, that she decided to become a hypnotist too.
There you go.
And it was
Exactly.
like, wow, I felt so good because I created such an impact for her that now she was going and start impacting others. So
There
that
you
was
go.
very rewarding.
Plus, on top of that, because you did that, now she looks at you as being a mentor.
Yeah.
There it is. Beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Beautiful thing. So before we go here, I just want to read the other comments here. Pastor P say, yes, I really believe in service. With that, you will have a passionate heart. And yes, one person at a time. I totally agree. 1,000%.
Yes.
Before we go ahead and disconnect here, because I know you're a very busy woman. I'm just very thankful and happy that you were able to come on the show. Do you have any final words for the listening audience?
Hmm. Well, one of my favorite things right now is that I feel like life is delicious. Every piece, every ounce of it is so delicious. And so, no matter what you're doing, remember that life is delicious, and then you can choose how delicious to make it.
I like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. That's my Virgo buddy, ladies and gentlemen, Vickie Poole. Make sure too that if you not follow her, please follow her, friend her as far as on all the social media platforms that she's on. When her birthday comes around, show her some love, okay? If you know what I mean. And this is a beautiful thing, beautiful thing. So, on behalf of Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast, this is episode 487 with Master of Change, Habit Change, Ms. Vickie Poole. We appreciate you all, and we're going to close this segment like we do all by others here. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, then may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. Stay tuned because there's a lot of exciting things that's going to be coming down my timeline, so you don't want to miss that. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Thank you for your time, everyone. Have a
Mm.
great one.